Sonam Wangchuk is an activist who's supporting the protest of this Instagram or social media movement that has found a very extraordinary life in India's politics, which is a good thing, by the way. They are not a political party, but they are fighting for a cause of the students. Now, why would Rahul Gandhi, aware that Sonam Wangchuk is there on a fast for the same purpose for which you're doing this Chhatro ke Gunj or whatever, why would you not go and actually tell Sonam Wangchuk to cut his fast down? And if he were to do that, Rahul Gandhi actually looks like a national hero. Cockroach Janta Party, right? All these people, the 20 million or whatever, who are the followers of the CJP on Instagram and elsewhere, they will all feel good that Rahul Gandhi backed us at a very critical time. At the same time, the Congress can continue with this mobilization of students in the Chhatro ke Gunj across the country. You see, the two are not, interlinked. They are mutually exclusive. So the simple answer here is that the Cockroach Janta Party, under whose banner Sonam is doing this protest, is saying the same thing that the Congress and Rahul Gandhi have been wanting. So back them. And I don't think the Congress needs to be defensive or paranoid or worried that the BJP will then launch a campaign saying, the Cockroach Janta Party is anti-national.
Is hunger strike a workable tool in the face of the Modi government? Hello and a warm welcome to HW News Network, your one-stop show, truth be told, for some engaging and thought-provoking conversations. Leader of the opposition, Rahul Gandhi, has not visited activist Sonam Wangchuk, who's on a hunger strike today. In fact, it's the 19th day of his hunger strike, and Cockroach Janta Party began its protest almost a little more than 3 weeks ago. And Rahul Gandhi's absence has become its own story as to why Rahul Gandhi is not extending a hand of support to Sonam Wangchuk or the Cockroach Janta Party. This has drawn jibes from Sonam Wangchuk, then a lengthy defense from a Congress leader, plus a shot at some perspective by the Cockroach Janta Party's founder on X, which was formerly called Twitter. Now, when Rahul Gandhi is busy with his own party's program, Chhatro ki Gunj, is it justified on the part of Sonam Wangchuk to raise questions on the leader of the opposition? That's what people are discussing. And in fact, this has become a matter of great discussion. Now, is Congress right in viewing Sonam Wangchuk's fast with skepticism? Why is Cockroach Janta Party not extending support to Chhatro ki Gunj? And which way is this entire movement heading? If you look at what happened today in the Delhi High Court, because a plea was filed there, Delhi High Court said that come what may, but we have to save and protect the life of Sonam Wangchuk, and he has to be attended to by the doctors. But ultimately, then it's the entire cause losing the steam. Everything is centered now around Sonam Wangchuk. There are a couple of other student leaders from ISA who are protesting, who are on a hunger strike. People have forgotten them. Nobody's talking about it. So is this movement really losing steam? People have forgotten about the cause. People have forgotten about the basic fundamental demand. When will Dharmendra Pradhan resign? And now this entire discussion is around Sonam Wangchuk's hunger strike, how he's asking accountability from Rahul Gandhi, that why is Rahul Gandhi not coming and joining the protest when other regional leaders are joining the protest? So these are all questions. We'll try and find out answers to these. And joining me this evening is Sanjay Jha, former spokesperson of the Congress Party, author and political commentator. Thank you so much, Sanjay, for joining. And of course, this Sonam Wangchuk's hunger strike, Cockroach Janta Party has been making headlines for the last 3 weeks, a little more than 3 weeks now. Where is this movement headed to? Because it seems there's a feeling somehow that the movement is losing steam because it is too much centered around one person now, and that is Sonam Wangchuk and his hunger strike. Where is the cause? Where is the presence of the other student leaders who've been demanding from day one that for all the suicides which have happened, for all the examination paper leaks, Dharmendra Pradhan should resign. The minister is happily on his own course. People have forgotten about the basic demand now.
Yeah. Neelu, good evening to you and good to be on your program again. First and foremost, I don't think the movement has lost any momentum at all. The very fact that today the country is talking about Sonam Wangchuk's fast, the fact that you and I are having a conversation on it, establishes the fact that there is a clear momentum. And the reason is very legitimate, right? Because we are talking about students who have suffered on account of incompetence of this government, the mismanagement, the financial scams that have clearly followed, all of it indicating that there is a serious crisis in the education ministry. Now, I think today, the fact that the Delhi High Court has to tell the central government that you must ensure that the life of Sonam Wangchuk is not put in danger tells you that you're dealing with a callous, cold, calculating, and essentially disinterested government. Sonam Wangchuk is not just an ordinary character. He's one of the most iconic activists of India fighting on climate change in Ladakh. You know that he was arrested and, all kinds of exaggerated accusations were made at him. So I think the bottom line is that today it has caught the national imagination because he's on fast. And I think it is absolutely perfect time for everybody who cares for India's future, who cares for the young, not just the Gen Z, but the entire young, many of them unemployed, to be coming together to question this government, which has basically told itself that it does not care. You see, Narendra Modi's government is very categorical, it's very explicit. It will not tolerate any dissent. Sonam Wangchuk is on fast for 18, 19 days. From what I read last, Neelu, he's lost apparently 9 kilos of his weight. Now, these have many medical and health consequences, and I hope he's all right. But the truth is that you're dealing with a government that's not listening. This is not the Congress government of the Anna Hazare time where, they were actually in dialogue, ministers were coming to talk to them, and eventually at some point there were consultations between the agitationists who, by the way, were sponsored by the RSS, but that's another story. So to wrap up your answer to your question, I don't think the momentum of this movement has been lost. And I guess why Rahul Gandhi is not going there, that's a separate question that needs to be addressed as well.
No, in fact, I will come to that question as well, because Congress has also organized a program called Chhatron Ki Goonj, the one they had in Kota, right. And now the next one is happening at Dehradun on 17th of July. So they are well within their rights to, not be participatory of this program at Jantar Mantar, but to look down upon the leader of the opposition and say nasty things. There have been social media handles which have been saying very nasty things about Rahul Gandhi not joining Cockroach Janta Party's protest or not extending a hand of support to Sonam Wangchuk. What would you say to that? I mean, should we view that with so much of skepticism, that why Rahul Gandhi is not supporting Sonam Wangchuk or Cockroach Janta Party?
Well, to me, the answer is very straightforward. What is the principal purpose behind what Sonam Wangchuk or the Cockroach Janata Party is protesting? Exactly what Rahul Gandhi himself said, right? That there is corruption in the education ministry and Mr. Pradhan should resign. Now, in politics, if there is somebody else who's saying the same thing, they're actually on your side. So I would reverse the conversation. Instead, I fail to understand why the Congress makes every molehill into a mountain. Sonam Wangchuk is an activist who's supporting the protest of this Instagram or social media movement that has found a very extraordinary life in India's politics, which is a good thing, by the way. They are not a political party, but they are fighting for a cause of the students. Now, why would Rahul Gandhi, aware that Sonam Wangchuk is there on a fast for the same purpose for which you're doing this Chhatron Ke Goonj or whatever, why would you not go and actually tell Sonam Wangchuk to cut his fast down? And if he were to do that, Rahul Gandhi actually looks like a national hero. More important, Congress is a national party. It's a political party that's governed the country for over 50 years, is made modern India. Why should the Congress be worried about absolutely irrelevant, in my opinion, or rather matters that are more optics driven as to who gets the credit for it? Seriously? I mean,
No, but you
today,
think that Congress is really thinking on that line, and which is why they are skeptical?
well, I'll tell you, I'm so disappointed with the Congress. I'm being very frank with you, Neelu. You know that I ideologically and politically battle for the party, but I must say I'm very disappointed because clearly there are certain advisors to Rahul Gandhi who are giving him terrible, absurd,
No,
and
but Congress
atrocious
as a
advice.
party, I believe, has urged Sonam Wangchuk to end his fast. That they have said.
Mhm,
But the
mhm.
point is that Rahul Gandhi, that optics of Rahul Gandhi not going and visiting the spot at Jantar Mantar. Now look at KC Venugopal's tweet, what he has written. Sri Sonam Wangchuk has now been on a hunger strike for 19 days, demanding the resignation of the Union Education Minister. The Indian National Congress has been making this very demand for over a month and a half. We share the anguish and outrage that Sri Wangchuk feels, especially due to the lack of accountability within the Modi government for the collapse of the examination system in particular. In view of his health condition, we appeal to Sri Wangchuk to end his fast. His concerns are our concerns and that of other opposition parties as well. Rest assured, we will continue to confront the Modi government and demand the education minister's resignation. So, should that rest uh, uh, that anxiety as to why Rahul Gandhi is not extending the support. A tweet has been put out. What else should he go and visit Sonam Wangchuk at the site in front of the cameras?
Well, let me tell you, I think Casey's tweet to some extent mollifies, the angst that a lot of
Anxiety.
people had about the Congress being very silent at a time when the entire country, or rather internationally, people are asking questions about a man who's literally on a fast and to death. Now, here is the issue. Yes, I'm glad the Congress has done it because the backlash was pretty evident. But I still have one solution on going forward. Rahul Gandhi is become the champion of this movement. Now, every political party uses a personality to kind of leverage the communication or the outreach. Rahul Gandhi is the man. Now, I believe that the Congress party needs to think a lot bolder, be more creative, be more imaginative. You can support this and get the entire backing of all the youngsters who are part of the Cockroach Janta party, right? All these people, the 20 million or whatever, who are the followers of the CJP on Instagram and elsewhere, they will all feel good that Rahul Gandhi backed us at a very critical time. At the same time, the Congress can continue with this mobilization of students in the Chhatro Ke Gunj across the country. You see, the two are not interlinked. They are mutually exclusive. And in my opinion, it's politically very sagacious because of the simple reason, and it's very obvious, that the principal people who should be answering the questions is the Modi government, right? It's Mr. Pradhan and the Narendra Modi government that has told everybody we will do what we want. Mr. Pradhan will not resign and we don't care a damn. Now, if the Congress is protesting, if
No, but
Akhilesh
Sanjay,
is
do you believe that the real question is why Rahul Gandhi is not attending or why Rahul Gandhi is not extending the support? The real question should be that why is Dharmendra Pradhan not resigning? The real question is that why is Modi, as a prime minister, is not breaking silence over the students who have died by suicide? That is not the question which mainstream media is discussing. The topic of the discussion is why Rahul Gandhi is not extending a hand of support to Sonam Wangchuk. So, and also another question, that is Cockroach Janta Party also looking for an off ramp or some sort of an exit gate? Because, and I'm deliberately asking this question without hurting the sentiments of those
Mhm.
students, without hurting the sentiments or the cause for which Sonam Wangchuk is standing up at the moment. But it seems that there was a realization that on the day one when we saw the protest didn't click. On the scale at which everybody had thought. Then Sonam
Mhm.
Wangchuk came in. Now the hunger strike is also not working in. So are they now looking for an exit gate and they want to pin all the blame now to Rahul Gandhi? That look, Rahul Gandhi didn't join and therefore we have failed.
No, I think we're over analyzing a quite a straightforward situation, actually. Now, why people turn up and what the numbers are, which can be called staggering, that's a very subjective matter. But the larger issue is that this is caught the public imagination. It's all over media. It's everywhere on social media, etc. Right? So the message has been delivered that India has a flawed educational system. The young have suffered, and they actually feel that unless they take some kind of a bolder change and force it to happen in the government by getting the education minister to resign, they will not have succeeded in the objective of ensuring that the system has been cleansed. Now, there is nothing wrong with it. After all, in politics, it's got to be about accountability. Now, I don't agree with the off ramp for the simple reason that the issue is legitimate. The issue is very genuine. Everyone in this country has been appalled at the way the scams have happened over the last several years, and they continue to happen, right, for several exams. Now, I believe that the Congress party and Rahul actually spearheaded and started the very aggressive campaign against this government. And that is not going away anywhere. I think Rahul tomorrow, when he goes to Dehradun or when he goes to some other parts of the country, will draw absolutely massive crowds. And I'm sure the Congress will amplify this message even further. So I don't think there is any conflict of interest at all. You see, the conflict of interest bogey is one created by insecure minds within different political parties, including the Congress. Now, the media, the mainstream media, will magnify it because that's a natural play. I think it's given that the Narendra Modi government is corrupt and incompetent. That's not even a point in debate. Now, the point of debate is what is the leader of the opposition doing to kind of galvanize everyone who's on the same platform together? And if you ask me very frankly speaking, to me, that's not illogical at all, Neelu. Think about it. Think about it, okay? That today, Mr. Modi's government is in the docks. As a leader of the opposition, my advice to Rahul would be, if tomorrow, let's take an opponent of the Congress, I don't know who, think of anybody who's an opponent of the Congress, any political party, all right? They say, we are also going to support this movement of the change for the education minister. I would support that because that suits my purpose. That's also part of my objective. So the simple answer here is that the Cockroach Janta party, under whose banner Sonam is doing this protest, is saying the same thing that the Congress and Rahul Gandhi have been wanting. So back them. And I don't think the Congress needs to be defensive or paranoid or worried that the BJP will then launch a campaign saying, the Cockroach Janta party is anti-national, they are funded by a toolkit conspiracy.
Sanjay,
it's ridiculous.
No, but many people within the Congress circles, they show their skepticism and they always quote the example of 2011 that look, at that point of time also Anna Hazare was made into a cult. He was made into a Mahatma Gandhi who was wearing a cap, sprinting about in everywhere. And then ultimately everybody knew how this entire movement ended up in a whimper. Then we had a leader like Arvind Kejriwal who ended up like a normal politician. So that is why the main reason for their skepticism is this. But is this skepticism well-meaning? That's question number one. And secondly, is this a case of competing interests as well? Because who takes the credit for raising the cause of the students ultimately?
Well, Neelu, let me answer it straightforward. Nobody is denying in retrospect, because Prashant Bhushan said so publicly, that the Anna Hazare agitation had an RSS sponsorship. And Prashant has said it publicly. So I think that's beyond dispute. But even at this point of time, the Congress has to realize, right, from the point of view of sheer, crude politics, that whatever the Cockroach Janta party is doing today is questioning this government. So I don't know if firstly, I don't believe the story that the Cockroach Janta party has, some foreign funding and there's a toolkit conspiracy. I think this is the BJP mindset. We should not even waste our time on that. But let's assume that, they have support of an X group of people. they are challenging this government. What did RSS and the BJP do, right? They used Kejriwal and Anna Hazare and became a political force. So, well, if the Cockroach Janata Party is actually questioning the Modi government, has got the students kind of more enlightened to protest. After all, what is Sonam Wangchuk's protest? It's a Gandhian democratic protest, right? It's literally fast as a Gandhian mode. That's a Congress's most celebrated leader of all times. So I really feel that there is no competing interest. The Congress is a political party. It is not competing with Cockroach Janata Party. If the Congress were competing with the Cockroach Janata Party, I would say India's democratic future is in serious trouble. But here is the point. Here is the
Right.
point. If the Congress itself needs to realize today, that is also a very important point, that you can't do your protestations in the old fashioned way. Ki I will do one every month. India is now demanding traction. It needs energy. So after quota, why such a long gap? These are questions that people will ask. I
So
think
certainly, I'm sure these are questions which people have already raised on the social media. That where was Rahul Gandhi after the quota
yeah, people
program?
will
Why
ask.
such a long gap? Of course, these are questions. But the point is that when you discuss the way the agitations have to go forward, when you have to discuss the manner in which the other movements now have to carry on in the face of a callous, insensitive government like that of Prime Minister Modi, how does one move ahead? And people are talking about the fact that is hunger strike a legitimate and a practical tool which is workable or not workable? That is also one question which many civil society people and activists are raising. Sanjay, so what is your feeling about that? Is hunger strike a workable tool in the face of the Modi government?
I think so. I think it's a Gandhian form of
No, but the
protest.
Modi government hasn't bothered to come back and, have a dialogue.
Well, let me tell you, can you imagine how embarrassing it is for Narendra Modi today, who's taken an oath, right? As a prime minister, you take an oath on the constitution that you're responsible for every life of every citizen of this country. And right now in Delhi, there is a 59-year-old man, an activist with probably such wonderful credentials, who's suffering, who's pushing himself to the brink, and his entire government sits there like this cold, monstrous machine and doesn't respond. Let me tell you something, Neelu. Narendra Modi and his advisors probably are blind to the reality that history is written over a period of time. All this will be talked about. It will be a day of shame for this government and for Mr. Modi personally. Can you imagine? I mean, if you were a prime minister, if I was a prime minister, you would have made an outreach within day one saying, hey, listen, we'll have conversations, whatever, but please don't do fast. It's not good for you, etc. What's a big ego trip? So I can tell you this government is actually on the mat, although it believes that it is absolutely unassailable. And, these are guys who are fascists, right? They're dictatorial. So they believe in brute power. They will be like, hey, we don't budge. Let everybody suffer. But can you imagine the humiliation for the Modi government that the Delhi High Court has to tell the central government, take care of his life? Can you imagine that today you and I are talking about it and many people are going to watch our show and they're going to share it? I mean, think about the many other people who are going to be talking about it today. All youngsters across this country are following the fate of Sonam Wangchuk. So Mr. Modi is anyway a loser here. I don't think that's even a point of debate. The bigger issue here is that the Congress party needs to now act like the true ambassador of the entire opposition. You need to get everybody together. Now, that means all political parties who are part of the India Alliance, even those who are not part of the India Alliance, who are not part of NDA, but also get all the activists, which is what the Cockroach Janata Party is. Now, if you look at Mr. Modi's government, it is trampling and destroying activism in the country, right? Mr. Modi himself calls anybody who criticizes his government as an urban Naxal. Now, if the Congress party does not support it at this point, and gets caught up in this very petty, nitty-gritty debate about, it's under a CGP platform. And, if the Congress goes, then does it weaken the Chhatro ka gunj? I think these are things that should be left to ordinary political managers. As a leader, Rahul Gandhi needs to rise above this petty, parochial, narrow-minded and very myopic thinking. Go to Sonam Wangchuk and say, stop your fast. I'm also doing a protest. Your protest, we will amplify it in parliament, which is starting soon. Sashi has written a tweet on that as well. And tell him, end your fast while I'm here. While I'm here, I'm going to offer you this orange juice or the lassi or whatever. Finish the fast. We are in it together. Abhijit Dipke is not at the moment, seen as an Arvind Kejriwal threatening the future of the other political parties. He's a guy who's seen an opportunity. He's doing something right, for God's sake. At this point of time, I'm not going to read motives into his apparent larger
there are
intentions.
sections of people who are raising the question vice versa, that even the Cockroach Janta Party is not extending a hand of support to Chhatro Ki Gunj. Why are they not coming and supporting Rahul Gandhi's programs? So ultimately, it looks like competing interests, and which is why this distancing, though the cause is common.
Well, I can tell you, the Cockroach Janata, let me tell you the simple thing. The Congress should support this movement right now, because there is a common institutional power that is intimidating and bullying everybody, and that is the BJP government. So if, for example, both the Sonam Wangchuk and the Cockroach Janta Party and the Congress want Dharmendra Pradhan to resign. Okay, both of them want that to happen, right? Why would they be saying we are competing? In fact, your goal is the same. What are you competing for? For credit? I mean, I don't think the Congress should worry about that at all. The Congress has multiple issues to take care of. The Congress has to look at the ethanol issue. The Congress has to look at the Ram Temple donation scam issue. The Congress anyway has a massive frontal youth organization. Where is the problem?
No, but how can one overlook the various social media handles from Cockroach Janta Party who've said very nasty things about Rahul Gandhi not joining the support? Now, ultimately, it boils down to the question that who is wanting to piggy ride on whom, and it's very clear that is Cockroach Janta Party now looking for a bailout from Rahul Gandhi? And should Rahul Gandhi be part of it, or should Rahul Gandhi just continue with his own programs? That's a question which everyone is asking.
Well, to be honest with you, I've been in politics long enough to tell you this, Neelu. You need to have a memory of a goldfish in Indian politics, and you need to have a thick skin of a rhinoceros. I'll tell you why. I mean, shall we take the remarkable, extraordinary transformation of this man called Raghav Chadha, right? We all know his famous talks on BJP, the Gunda party, the party that was destroying India. And look how he is today, a cheerleader for Mr. Modi, right? Now, Abhijit Dipke may have been critical of Rahul Gandhi. Abhijit Dipke or whoever, some youngsters may have been critical of the Congress party. Now, you can't in today's politics sit and pull out a tweet and say, you said this about me, so now I'm going to hold this big grudge against you. Politics is about living in the moment. Okay, I'm not saying be transactional, but it's about living in the moment. What is the current situation? The students are distressed. Their families have been extremely disturbed. They've gone through hell. Nobody knows if there will be more scams in the future. We have no idea. Now, here is the point. To support the students and to demand the resignation of the minister, all voices who are saying the same thing, they are different entities, but they have a common goal. So you are not actually competing at all. You are complementary. And I would say, because the Congress is really the big brother of this entire opposition, given its reach, its history, and it's a powerful political party, the alternative to the BJP at the national level, it needs to be seen as the one that is the big tent. The Congress cannot behave like AAP, for example, or some other small regional party which is seeing a little opportunity for some soundbite or a moment of, kind of in the sunshine. The Congress doesn't need that kind of publicity. I have said it before and I'll say it again. The Congress should run an even more aggressive Chhatro Ka Gunj campaign. It won't matter If tomorrow Dipke and his team don't support the Congress, they don't matter. India has got a massive youth population. Let the NSUI and the Indian Youth Congress go and mobilize the others who are not part of the CJP and demonstrate publicly that you are going to fight for the students anyway and challenge the worst government that India has seen since 1947. Is that fair?
Well, absolutely. In fact, there are lots of answers which need to be given at this point of time, but rather KC Venugopal has already put out a tweet appealing Sonam Wangchuk to end the fast. Now, does that assuage the concerns of Sonam Wangchuk? Does that assuage the concerns of the Cockroach Janta party? We'll have to see. But yes, tomorrow is the big day, 17th of July, when Rahul Gandhi is headed to Dehradun for a big Chhatro Ki Goonj program. So let's see how that pans out. Already there are roadblocks and hurdles. They've already changed Rahul Gandhi's venue of the program. Now let's see what happens tomorrow. Thank you so much, Sanjay, for joining. Always a pleasure having you on the program.
Likewise. Thank you very much.